There is a moment in your life, maybe you already know it, where everything feels safe. The walls around you feel warm. The routine feels comfortable, and you think to yourself, this is enough. This is fine. But deep inside, something is dying. Something small and quiet is fading away, and you don't even hear it. This is the story of a man named Eli and the river that saved his life. Eli was 34 years old. He lived in a small town, the same town where he was born. He worked at the same office for 11 years. He drove the same road every morning. He ate the same breakfast. He said the same things to the same people. And every single day, he told himself one sentence. He said, I am safe here. But safe is not the same as alive. Eli had a dream once. When he was 19, he wanted to travel the world. He wanted to write. He wanted to feel the wind on a mountain he had never seen before. He wanted to be somebody. But then life happened. Fear up in it. And slowly, quietly, like a door closing in another room, that dream disappeared. He didn't even notice it was gone. One evening, Eli sat on his porch. The sky was turning orange. The air was cold. And for the first time in years, he felt something strange, a heavy weight inside his chest. Not pain exactly, something worse. Emptiness. He looked at his hands, and he thought, is this all there is? He didn't sleep that night. The next morning, Eli did something he had never done before. He drove out of town. He didn't know where he was going. Just drove past the fields he had seen 1,000 times, past the last gas station, past the signs that said no U-turn. And after 2 hours, he stopped the car beside a river. The river was wide. The water was dark and fast. It moved without hesitation. It didn't ask permission. It didn't wait for courage. It simply moved. And Eli sat on a rock beside it, watching for a long time. That is when he met a man named Thomas. Thomas was old, maybe 60, maybe older. He wore worn boots and a jacket that had seen better days. He was sitting downstream, fishing, but he wasn't really fishing. He was watching the water. When Eli sat down, Thomas didn't look surprised. He just said, first time here? Eli nodded. Thomas smiled, a quiet, knowing smile. He said, the river doesn't care where it's going. It, cursed, goes, and that's why it reaches the ocean. Eli didn't understand. Not yet. They sat together for a while. The sound of the water filled the silence between them. Then Thomas spoke again. He said, I used to be like you. I know because I can see it in your face. You're not lost. You're stuck. Eli looked at him. How do you know I'm stuck? Thomas pointed at the river. Because stuck people always come to rivers. They come here and they watch something that is moving. They come here because they remember what it felt like to move. That sentence hit Eli like a stone in still water. The ripples spread slowly through his whole body. Thomas continued, he said, most people think courage is the absence of fear. It is not. Courage is feeling the fear and choosing to move anyway. The river is afraid of nothing, but it still crashes against rocks. It still falls off cliffs. It still breaks apart, and every single time, it keeps going. Eli was quiet for a long time. The wind moved through the trees. A bird sang somewhere far away, and he felt something shift inside him. Something old and buried, like a seed that had been waiting underground for years. He asked Thomas, what if I fail? Thomas laughed softly, not mocking. Gentle, he said, you already have. Every day you stayed still was a failure you chose not to see. The question is not whether you will fail. The question is whether you will finally let that failure mean something. That night, Eli drove home. But something was different. The road felt shorter. The sky felt wider. And when he looked in the rearview mirror, he didn't see the town behind him. Esau, Ador. And for the first time in 11 years, he thought about opening it. The next week, Eli did something terrifying. He handed in his resignation. His hands were shaking. His voice was not steady. The woman at HR looked at him with wide eyes, and Eli felt like the ground was disappearing beneath him. It was the most frightening moment of his life. But it did Italiano. He didn't have a plan. He didn't have a backup. He had only one thing. A feeling. A feeling that said, "It is time." And he listened to it. Over the next year, Eli traveled, he wrote. He failed often. He sat alone in strange cities and felt afraid. He missed the safety of his old life. There were nights when he wanted to go back. Nights when the emptiness returned. But every time that happened, he closed his eyes and listened to the sound of that river. And he kept moving. Think of a tree in a storm. The roots hold firm, but the branches bend. They don't fight the wind. They move with it. And that is how they survive. Eli learned to be like that tree. He stopped fighting his fear. He let it bend him, and in the bending, he found strength he never knew he had. A year later, Eli returned to that river. He sat on the same rock. The water was still moving, still fast, still fearless, and dismillet. Because for the first time in his life, he felt like the river. He was not stuck anymore. He was flowing. Here is what Eli learned. And here is what I want you to carry with you today. Your comfort zone is not a home. It is a cage you built around yourself and called it safety. The warmth you feel inside it is not peace. It is the quiet numbness of a life unlived. True peace does not come from avoiding fear. It comes from walking through it and discovering that you are still standing on the other side. The river does not wait for the right moment. It does not ask for permission. It does not wonder if it is ready. It simply moves, and so must you. You are not too old. You are not too late. You are not too afraid. You are simply standing still. And the greatest waste of a human life is not failure. It is the courage you never used. So stop watching the river from the shore. Step into the water, and finally, begin to flow.